If you have a BMW G20 3 Series, chances are the front end looks like this. But in today's video, we're bringing you a no-fluff DIY to make it look like this. Hey, this is Brian, that's Zach behind the camera. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and check us out at kiesmotorsports.com. In today's video, we are going to bring you along as we show you how to assemble our front bumper conversion kit, and we are also going to be adding a front lip while we're here. Now, if you're just here for the front lip installation, we're gonna timestamp it down below for you so you can skip ahead. Now, with our conversion kits, we do give you all of the pieces that you need, but we do not offer painting services. So what Zach and I typically do is we take the fuel door, and as you can see, we have the tow hook covers missing. We take these to the paint shop, we give them the VIN of the car, they look up the paint code, and they verify it with these just to make sure that everything looks good. They spray it for us, and then we install it, and it helps save us a lot of money. Now, while we were at the paint shop, we did have a couple other things painted. These typically come like that chrome look, so we wanted those gloss black, and then we went with the matte style front lip. We also had that hit with gloss black. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's begin by removing the factory OEM base bumper. Now, if you don't have a lift, it's not a problem at all. We're just using it for video purposes so you guys can get a better sense on what is going on. But if you have ramps or a jack and jack stands, those are going to work just great. So at this time, let's get the car a little bit off the ground so we can see what's going on. First part of the process, pull your wheel in like that. And then we're going to remove the 10 mils in the wheel well here. There's one right here, and then right up here. Once you're done with those, you can pop on an 8 mil with an extension. There's a screw right here that holds your bumper to your fender, and another one right here. So to get to it, what you want to do is just kind of pull your bumper out a little bit, get your hand under, and then if you take a look, there's one here, and then one back here. Once you've done that to this side, you can jump over and do the exact same thing to the other side of the car. Now that we have the top removed, what I like to do is I like to protect our fender up here. It's gonna make it a little bit easier and less chance of damage when we are removing and reinstalling. So I'm gonna do this on the other side of the car, but before we do that, I do wanna show you a connection that we need to remove in here. So if you take a look over here, I'm gonna try to do this blind, but you have a PDC connection harness up here, which you just press on these two ends right there. There's going to be tabs that release. And then over here, there should be a temperature sensor. You can just pull this whole thing up and it's going to come right out just like that. So now that you've done that, we just push those in and let them hang. And that way there's going to be no extra wires that get ripped out when we go to actually remove the bumper. Okay, I'm just gonna loosen this side. It's gonna make it a little bit easier to get the bumper off. All right, at this time, what we're going to do is remove all these 10 mils on the lower section of the bumper. Next, we need to remove these little side underbody protection pieces. We have new ones that are going to be installed. So to remove these, there are two 10 mils here, and then there's two 10 mils in the back. Okay, now what we're going to do before we remove the bumper, we wanna, again, make sure that we protect the headlights of the car. So I have more painter's tape, and we are going to just line the bottom. At this point, we are ready to remove the bumper cover, so we are going to lift off this side, and do the same on the other side. And then just try to get your hand in here. There's a series of clips. What we're going to do, you just very carefully just work your way out. Okay, like so. And then just take your bumper and then just put it in a safe spot. Now what you can do is just take this foam piece here, just pull it off. It's just held on basically by itself. It's not even glued or anything. These just basically have little foam tabs, so you just give it a little tug and it'll come right off. Next, get yourself a T30 and we are going to remove the 4 bolts that secure this piece of trim. Okay, there's one there. Once you've done that, you just lift up on these tabs and then wiggle this out. You have to get this out from behind this weird strap thing. Not really sure why BMW holds the car together with a ratchet strap, but it's BMW. They do what they want. Okay, then before you pull too hard, there's a connection over there, so let's just disconnect that, and then we'll put this to the side. Next, you need to remove a bolt over here. That is a T45, and it's held in with just about no torque at all. And the same thing on this side. So as you can see, very little effort to break that loose. Okay, once you've done that, take the support and pull it straight out. Now we can take our new support brace, line that in, push that in, and then we can reinstall our T45s. At this point, what we need to do is we need to transfer over this module here. Basically, this module has active cooling, so if your motor needs to cool down, it opens. If it needs to warm up, it'll shut them. So you need a T20. I'm gonna pull out these two screws here. Okay, so once the screws are removed, you have these different blades. These are going to open and close to help control the cooling of the car. Now, typically, my understanding is that it's going to mainly close them when you're starting the car and it's trying to get warmed up. You're more than welcome to transfer them over. Zach has opted to not transfer them over. So what we're going to do, remove this. We're just gonna install this unit back, and then that way everything's going to be plugged in, but we're just going to basically have it open all the time, so that way Zach gets the best cooling possible. All right, so now that we have this in place, there's these little clips down the bottom. Feed them in, rock that down, and then we're gonna reinstall our T20s. Okay, so now we're just going to do this in the reverse order. I'm gonna reach in here and plug this in. Make sure that that's clipped. You're going to reinstall this. Then you can reinstall those 4 T30s. All right, it is now bumper assembly time. So if you have a bumper stand, it's a good time to get that out. The first piece that you want to look for is the grill that looks like this, and just find the one that goes on the correct side. You'll see that there are a series of tabs along the side. These are typically pretty tight, especially on F series. Just make sure that you have everything lined up. And then what you can start to do is just go along and start to clip everything in. I'm gonna start over here. I like to clip some in, but try to get them pretty close before I actually start to hit them home. Because if you have a clip like this one here that's on the wrong side, it's a pain if you have to pull it back off to redo it. All right, everything looks good. And make sure that everything fully clips in. Once you've done that, you want to get the little piece that looks like this. Then you want to line this up, and that's going to snap in just like that. Super easy. Next, we're going to take our piece here. We're going to line it up. Make sure that everything is going into the right spot, and then you can clip that into place just like that. Now, if you're going to paint it now. I wouldn't take it back off because it's a pain in the butt. And look how good it looks gloss black. Come on, it looks good. Next, you're gonna take the piece that looks like this. You're gonna slide it in, and then you're going to clip it in. Make sure that all of your clips go in all the way. That looks nice back there. Push that in over there. And then make sure that you get this piece seated behind here in the corner. There it goes, just like that. That one's a little bit difficult, just to give you a little heads up. Before we get this fully down, I'm gonna clip this in here. Those are satisfying clips right there. Okay. Then you can continue to to work at clipping all of these in. Okay. And that is clipped there. And we are good on this side, so let's move over to the other side. Now I'm gonna do this one in a slightly different order because I may or may not have forgotten this piece. So we're gonna put that in first. Then we're gonna take our grill. All right, perfect. Remember, get this side situated first. Otherwise, that's gonna be a pain in the butt. Again, always look for cutouts like this because it shows what needs to go on first. So this one definitely needs to go on before this piece here. Otherwise, you're gonna do it twice. And this guy. You'll hear nice little clips when it's actually clipped in. Okay, so now we got this thing. Okay, then we need to put these little clips on the side. I love how they switched to these plastic ones instead of the metal ones. Now we're going to slowly start to move some stuff from this bumper to that. Over here, there's an 8mm that holds this clip in. Without this clip, you're gonna have a very difficult time screwing the bumper back into the fender. So you're gonna remove this, and then it's going to casually pop out. Like so. So then we need to put one of these plastic things in here. This slides up and clips in. And if you're doing this with drill or impact or something, don't go nuts. Perfect. I accidentally forgot to show you where this piece goes. So this piece, it'll say LH for left hand or RH for right hand. It goes in here. So we just pop this up a little bit. And we're gonna squeeze it in there. Okay. And that pops up through there. And that's good. So that what this is going to do is going to just correctly throw the air into the right place. So then I'm going to do the same on this other side here. Okay. Just got to make sure that this is all clipped back in. All right, now it's time to transfer over the PDC. So to do so, just start by cutting this tab over here without cutting your hand off. Okay. There's a little push pin over here. Pull that up. Pull that up. With the PDC sensors, we need to take the whole thing out. So you're lifting up on the top and then down on the bottom, and the whole thing's going to come out. A little clip. BMW made sure it wasn't going anywhere. Never seen so many clips holding one of these in before. So we're going to take it, we're going to lay it out and install it on our new bumper. Okay. Make sure that these are thoroughly clipped in. You don't want it to look funky from the other side. That'll line up there. Let me get this last one in, and then I'll work on the wiring. Some of the little tabs don't line up perfectly, so I'm just going to go through and periodically zip tie, just to make sure that Mr. Zach here doesn't get weird rattles, because Zach doesn't like rattles. So now we need to transfer over these little plastic rivets. So the way that these work, just slide a trim tool in and then pop up. So there's one on the end, then you skip a hole, and then there's another one. And you skip a hole, there's another one. All right, now before we are ready to put the bumper on, you need to put this little piece on. You gotta put it on now, or you're gonna have to take off the bumper again. I did pre-install these little white C-clip things. So you're just gonna get this, and this is going to clip on. You're going to see that there's this little clip, and then there is a little groove. So you wanna make sure that that goes over the groove. Line that up. Okay, and while you're lining that up, you wanna make sure that you're pushing the underbody protection up. That's gonna snap into place. And basically what this is it's basically just a giant adapter, because this bumper actually sits a little bit lower. So it just accounts for that gap. And as you can see, it's nice, it fits in perfect. Clips onto the aluminum rail that's provided. And definitely a really good way, beats using little plastic spacers or anything. So with that, Zach's gonna put the camera down and help me install the bumper. Now, one thing that we forgot to mention earlier, if you do not have a black car, you will need to have a couple of your PDC sensors painted black because of where the placement is. As you can see, it's on this black trim piece. If you wanted to, you could have this color matched. I kind of like how it's black and gray, but just something to be aware of. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to get those longer 8 mils, and you're going to start to feed them up here and just fish it through that hole. What I want to show you though is these bumpers have these little tabs. You want to make sure, I'm going to get out of your way here, that it goes into that little hole just like that, and that's going to make sure that everything is aligned. If you have it misaligned, what's going to happen is it's going to get crushed, and then your fitment isn't going to be all that good. So you're going to put it up, and then I'm going to go get my drill, and then we're going to sink those in. And as you can see, it pulls it into place perfectly. And don't forget that second one. Again, there's one like right here and one like right here. Okay. Now, while you're on this side, you need to make sure that you plug in your PDC, which is just that big clip. And then here, I'll give you a little light so you can see what I'm doing. So up there, I plugged in the PDC. And then down here is where your temperature sensor goes. Then what you're gonna do is take your 10 mils and you can install these top ones. We're gonna put the car up in the air to do the bottom ones for that little splash shield. We also have that lip we need to install. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go from our new support brace to our underbody protection. In the middle, these are just 10s. So you can see how nice that adapter works, and then we're going to screw that up to there. All right, what I'm doing now is I'm gonna pull off all these clips from our old underbody protection, and I'm going to slide them on to our new pieces here. Okay. Now let's go throw this on up here. Remember, if it says L, it means left. All right, now that we have that one done, let's do the same thing on the other side. Now, when you're doing this, if you look over here, make sure that you're going under this middle piece right here. So you just kind of have to pull it down and then navigate it through. But other than that, it's not that bad. All right, so just like we did before, you go up here. All right, now it is lip assembly time. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna slip these little clips over the lip like this. So this is a support piece, and I'm going to show you, it's really cool how this all gets assembled. So this is going to go like this, and then this is going to go in here, and then you're going to take this piece, and this is going to line up like that. A lot of times when you're doing this, they're going to shift around, so it's really helpful if you get one or two in place. And these are going to make sure that this lip isn't going to go anywhere. Then once you've done that side, we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, what we are going to do now is mount our new front lip. Really excited to see what this looks like. I think it's gonna look really nice. So we are going to be using some tape to hold this thing on. So I'm just gonna put that down like that. And then I'm going to just follow the inside line here. And when we're done, this thing's not going anywhere. Now what I'm going to do, I have two little pieces on the sides and then I have a big strip in the middle. I'm going to just take off the tape on the little pieces, and then I'm going to peel the ends on the big ones. Make sure that I get it in place nice, and then I'll remove that once it's actually on the car. It's a good idea to pull off both sides. The reason for that is if your tape breaks at all when you're doing this, if the red backing breaks, you at least have a plan B. Then we're going to do strip down here. All right, and now Zach's gonna help me hang it. Then to make sure that this lip goes nowhere, we're gonna put a couple screws in. Whenever you're putting screws in your bumper, always know where they're going. So at this point, we can put the remaining 10 mils in and we're done. So as you can see, the process isn't all that bad to install it, and take a look. I mean, when you look at the before and after, this is a complete game changer. I love what we did with the gloss black accents. I think that it makes it look like this with the gloss black. I mean, it's awesome. What do you think about it? You excited?
Super stoked.
Zach is super stoked about it, and yeah, you have to do this mod. I mean, it takes it from like wimpy commuter car to aggressive sports car, and it just is a complete game changer. So once again, that is Zach. My name is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you're interested in this mod, we're gonna have a link for you down in the description below. If you like today's video, give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.